had control of everything in my life, or so I thought, which is all a perception. You really don't have control of anything. It's your choice how you handle this. You can either choose joy, or you can choose to let this ruin what you have with your family. There's so many great bits in every moment that I wouldn't have if I allowed it to consume me, especially when it comes to Charlie. He deserves so much more.
See, if you chop it up in your black-eyed peas, it's not so bad.
Charlie is super fun and witty, so funny. I love hearing him laugh with his friends. He's just the funniest kid.
He doesn't see himself as Charlie, the diagnosis of Duchenne. He sees himself as Charlie, the kid who loves to play video games, who loves superheroes, who's loved superheroes before he even was diagnosed with Duchenne.
He just very much wants to talk about today, and there's no what ifs for him. With each phase, we have had a unique insight. We kind of know how his body's changing, and that allows us to think forward on what kind of modifications might we need. Right after diagnosis, Charlie was still playing baseball. He was still playing soccer. Mm-hmm. Everything was pretty ticking along just like it normally had been. But once we started getting involved in clinical trials, we decided at that point we needed to pull him from public school. He was going to be homeschooled so that we could focus on clinical trial and travel. But also we knew, based on seeing other families, meeting other families, that his energy level was going to change. And then after that, his progression changed, I think, a little bit more dramatically between 9 and 10. That's when he came off of his feet. So that's when he stopped walking. We had a conversation where he said, I think today might have been my last day walking. And immediately I looked at Nate and I said, well, no, tomorrow morning you're going to stand and it's going to be okay. Like, are you super tired? What's going on? He just knew it. He could feel it. He knew that it was safer. I think he felt it, that it was almost like, no, I'm okay with this.
Yes, and why are you videoing?
Because I think you're handsome.
The next morning, I said, do you want to try and stand? And he said, oh, I can stand. He said, I think I need my chair. I don't think I'm going to walk anymore. And he was right. He could take maybe a step, but he would crumble kind of when that happened. I remember saying to him, are you okay? Are you okay? And he said, yeah, Mom, I'm faster in my chair. Oh, and then he said, walking's overrated.
I think, honestly, when he wasn't able to walk anymore, it was almost a relief for him. And I think it's like that for a lot of the boys, because it's like, oh, thank God I don't have to fall anymore. I don't have to be embarrassed. I don't have to feel pain or worry, am I going to fall?
Or break something.
Right, or break something. So I think it was more of a challenge for me and JB.
I remember looking at Nate and it just was like it just, it came over us like, okay, he's okay with this. We've got to be okay with this. Like, walking's overrated. Okay, buddy, let's get it. You know, like that was it. That was it. Duchenne is just a part of our family. There's so many other parts. And I think that if we had known that at diagnosis, I think that I don't want to say would have been easier, because this is the toughest thing you'll ever hear, right? But I do think that it would have helped us keep perspective early on.
It's changed me as a person. And I think if we didn't have that moment and we didn't have Charlie, I would not be as happy when the good things happen. We have so many great moments that we've had since then that wouldn't even have been possible if he didn't have that diagnosis. Right. So I try to remind myself those things, and it makes it a little bit easier when dealing with the hard stuff.